Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about Kia EV9. Kia is really getting serious about getting into electric vehicle sector, and same with Hyundai, and essentially they're the same company in Korea. But this one looks very promising, and the more I look at it, I'm starting to fall in love with it. I'm usually a Tesla guy when it comes down to electric, because obviously they are the lead, but I mean, just like everyone else, sometimes you want an alternative options. I mean, we do have Audi, Porsche, same company technically, and we have Volkswagen, same company technically. We have Toyota, Honda's getting into it, Acura, they're all trying to get into it. But definitely, I do like the fact that more companies are jumping into this. So I'm definitely excited about what the future brings with the EV sector. But let's talk about this a little bit, okay? All right, so let's talk about what's under the hood. Supposedly it has up to 379 horsepower, where it could do 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. It has about 7.8 inches of ground clearance, has a warranty of 10 years or 100,000 mile, limited warranty, including the battery. Length is about 179.4, width is about 77.9. Height is about 70.1. It's a very close in size with their gas version of the car. It has about 15 sensors, including 2 LiDAR and the radar and cameras, where it's going to be able to look at 360 view to help with the drive assist and, self-parking, prevent collisions and things like that. And then it does have some standard features that are pretty neat, where it could help you with the driver assistance, as I mentioned earlier. So I don't know when companies talk about autonomous, sometimes it is kind of over-promising, like how Tesla is, where it's technically a work in progress, but a lot of companies end up calling it drive assist type of name, I think, which is better fit. All right, so regarding charging, standard rear is going to have about 76.1 kilowatt hour battery, range TBD. All-wheel and long range is going to have 99.8 kilowatt hour battery with close to 300 miles of range, and it can charge up to 149 miles about within 15 minutes with DC charger. But once again, these are estimated. We'll see how it does in reality. We need more data. So I know Hyundai and Kia and all these other companies claim what they said it can do, but in reality, you gotta really test it out. So more to come here. All right, interior is pretty sweet looking. I mean, it is very similar to all the other Kia models. It has a pair of 12.3 inch screen for gauge cluster, and second for infotainment screen that has a dedicated HVAC readout in between. And it has a relatively simplistic layout, as I mentioned, so that you could see better and you're not distracted. They did minimize a lot of buttons, but I know Kia and Hyundai still likes to provide actual buttons so that you can actually feel it, or at least have a little bit more less of a digital focus like Tesla does. And this is just more of a close-up view of the 12.3 inch screens that I mentioned on the previous screen. And I mean, it looks pretty neat in my opinion. I mean, it closely resembles what Mercedes has, and I think BMW has a pretty close setup. I think this is like the standard view that everybody likes to have. I'm still used to Tesla as a simplistic, just one screen rather than a long horizontal screen, but I guess it's something to get used to. Now, this is something that I think is pretty cool. If you have a big family, or if you take a lot of long trips with your friends or large groups, I think this is a pretty neat setup. We'll see how comfortable it is in reality, but it does have 2 captain chairs as an option from what I'm seeing from the picture, and you could definitely be a little bit more in the relaxing mode. So with the leg support up and things like that. So whoever's sitting in the back definitely gonna feel like a CEO. I would think that, the moonroof or sunroof, whatever you want to call it, could be a little bit wider. It seems a little bit narrow in my opinion, but maybe it's just a picture. I have to see it in real person to see how this actually will pan out. But I think it's good that they have a two sectionalized moonroof slash sunroof, so that people in the back, if weather's nice, you could look up, enjoy the nature or whatnot. For cargo space, supposedly it's about 20.2 cubic feet behind the third row. And then obviously, if you want to have more space, I'm sure you could scoot the seats in the front to make more space for your cargo. It didn't talk about whether it has additional trunk space underneath or the front space, like what typical electric cars with that engines are used to. But I know other than Tesla, most of the other automakers does not provide such a generous additional cargo space other than the trunk itself. Lastly, this is just approximate or estimated cost or the pricing. And there's a rear wheel drive, which is about $56,000. And then there's a long range version, which is $63,000. And there's an all wheel version, which is $68,000. And GT line, which is similar to how other Kia lineup is. And their sportier, faster version is basically their version of Plaid for Tesla that they have. So that's about $73,000. So like I said, I'm starting to like this vehicle a little bit more and more. I have to see it in person and test drive it to see if I really like it. I have a Tesla Model Y, so it'll be a good comparison, although it's not an exact same competition. So since this is more of a, I would say Model X competition, but we'll see. Maybe this might be my next vehicle. Thanks everyone for watching, and please like and subscribe for more contents like this, and thanks for the support.